Edmund, thanks for joining, man.
Thanks for having me.
First podcast?
First podcast, yeah.
How do you feel so far?
I'm just kind of in my own head just because
Yeah.
I'm processing a lot of what's happening, especially just coming from the pandemic. I just spent a lot. I'm naturally very reclusive. And so just to kind of literally be in a spotlight is just kind of something, I'm not used to.
Yeah.
But I've been making more of a conscious effort to try to, get out there and be a little bit more social lately. So here I am.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing that. And I'm glad you're doing that because I feel like you have a lot of great things to share.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Your classes have been very enjoyable. And sometimes they're challenging in a good way.
Okay.
And everybody has their own teaching style. Like we've had a lot of guest teachers at Fight Club, Little Tokyo Fight Club. And it's always awesome to have someone with your depth of expertise in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm always fascinated by people who are basically balls deep in whatever they do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That to me is so fascinating because they've spent so much of their time immersed in hopefully something they love to do and understand it in ways and perspectives that the casual person who's being introduced to it or somebody who's been doing it for years too will be just fascinated by their new look on it or their deeper understanding of it. So just a little background for our listeners.
Sure.
How long have you been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now?
I think since 2007. Yeah.
Okay. And are you LA based?
No, I'm from Orange County.
Orange County. Okay. It's basically LA. No.
Pretty much, yeah. When everyone's in town, you just say LA.
Yeah. So Orange County based. And how old are you now?
I'm about to be 32.
32. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And so 2007, how old were you then?
I want to say 14, 15.
Okay. And were you in athletics before that?
Not necessarily.
No.
So how I got into jiu-jitsu was, so I originally had set out to be an artist, I guess. That was kind of the goal. Or at least that's what my mom pushed me towards doing. I grew up doing visual arts, and then she enrolled me in a school called Orange County. At the time, it was Orange County High School of the Arts. And then they took out the H because it goes from 7th to 12th grade.
Yeah.
And so, they still had to fulfill the state requirements for physical education. And so what they offered was like dance. They offered one class called physical conditioning. And then for some reason they had Taekwondo. And so I enrolled in an acting class first, just because I didn't know that I was supposed to be in a PE class. So I was in acting for about almost a semester, and then they caught me saying that, oh, you got to fulfill your PE requirements. So then I tried tap dance for one day, and I just wasn't feeling it.
Fair.
So then I was like, oh, I'm Korean, so I'll try Taekwondo. And then I think naturally just Asians just like to congregate together, so shocking. There's a lot of other Asians in class, and we all became friends. And then I just started enjoying Taekwondo so much that I started getting curious about other martial arts. And that's when I started looking up. YouTube was starting to get popular at the time. And that's around the time that the UFC was pumping up Royce Gracie versus Matt Hughes. So they were really selling jiu-jitsu, and just something about the way Royce was handling his opponents in the early stages of the UFC just kind of caught my eye. So it was on my radar for a while, and then at a certain point, I just thought to myself, "Oh, I have to learn this." So then I looked on. This was before Yelp. This was Yahoo Yellow Pages. And I just looked up any gym that I can bike to. And then that's when I found one in Garden Grove. So the last 2 years of high school, I was going from school from about academic hours started at 8. and then I was in school till about 5, and then I'd come home, get something to eat, and then I'd bike to jiu-jitsu, train for a couple hours, then bike back, try to get some homework done, get to bed by 3, wake up at 6. And that was like my life for the last 2 years of high school. I don't know how I did that. I slept a lot in class though.
Yeah.
So
that's all right. Did you go to college?
I did, yeah.
Where at?
Cal State Fullerton.
Okay.
Studied kinesiology.
Okay.
And I'm not really doing anything with it now, but I figured it's relevant to things that I like. So, I mean, I got something out of it. So,
yeah. And what is that exactly?
I think kinesiology translates. I should say I don't think. I know. The study of movement, right? Kinetics, kines.
Okay.
And so, and I think sometimes it's easier just to call it exercise science. Although I don't know if that's correct either. Mm-hmm. Well, it's too late. I have my degree now, so you can't take it back. But a lot of people I went to school with aspired to be like physical therapists and stuff like that. But I just ended up sticking with jiu-jitsu. It's just something I couldn't part with. So
why not?
I think about that a lot. There's just something that always kind of draws me back to jiu-jitsu, because I've had times where I thought about leaving jiu-jitsu, and then the further I walk away, I kind of end up coming back to it. I don't know if it's like an abusive relationship that I'm in with with jiu-jitsu, because it just takes so much from you. And but these days I come back to it because it's really, I don't really know a whole lot of other things outside of jiu-jitsu, and so there's that. It checks off a lot of boxes for me. You're mastering a skill, you're being physically active, and and lately for me, I just like how it is a way to be very social. That's how I met you, through an open mat, and open mat culture has been something very prominent in my life growing up as a jiu-jitsu guy. And so as soon as I heard about this open mat, I was curious, and I went out to, just what's one open mat? And then, and then that's when I kind of met everyone and really clicked with, the Little Tokyo Fight Club crew. And I lost. Sorry,
No. I don't know if this is part of it for you.
Yeah.
But this is something that for me, why ever since I took the first class there, I was like, oh, okay, I'm hooked.
Okay.
And it's parallels with acting for me.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest things about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is it develops the 3 key awarenesses that a person should develop.
As an actor?
In
general?
General.
Okay.
And those 3 key awarenesses are, this is what for me, mental awareness. Just being aware that you are a human with this body currently.
Yes.
I think is so, and to be aware of like, oh my gosh, I am currently present in this podcasting room with these people. These are my fingers. And then it's slowly, as you can see what happened, you slowly start to connect to your body and spatial awareness. To, okay, I've got arms, I'm sitting in a chair like this, and if I do this, I can barely touch this wall. Okay, so now you're developing your awareness spatially with your body. And then third, which I think is the start of mastery of anything, is the awareness of the other person as well. Because you can be good at those first 2 things, but if you don't have the third thing, you plateau, I feel like. Do you feel like that at all with your practice?
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels I draw from jiu-jitsu that I carry over into just my daily living. sometimes I look at jiu-jitsu as a situation where two individuals are imposing adversity upon one another, and you're having to kind of train your brain to manage stress and make decisions, and just kind of figuring out things you can change and things you can't, and so I feel in order to level up in jiu-jitsu, when we start jiu-jitsu, we start to focus on things that we're in control of. But I think to get to that next level is to be aware of things that you can't control and being able to yield to that. Sometimes you get swept, you get your guard passed, you get tapped out, you have periods where you just feel like worthless, and so
I've never been tapped, so I don't know what that feels
oh
like.
yeah
Yeah.
I've been tapped a whole lot.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And and then you just keep doing that, and I don't know what's going. I feel like my brain is works very similarly to when I'm on my computer. I'm just always opening up browser tabs.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's just because sometimes I just just new tabs opening up, and I just feel like I end up kind of talking in circles. Does that ever end up happening to you, or how do you keep do you just talk, or do you have like an awareness of like where the conversation is, or
Great question.
Yeah.
That's taken not just this podcast, but another podcast to develop awareness, back to the awareness aspect, and where I want to go with it. And just literally tuning into you and listening, I feel something happens organically when I tune into the guest or whoever's in front of me. And these little seeds start to organically grow. And sometimes the seed will grow and I'll be like, oh, it's yellow. It looks like it's dead and withering. That topic is going to go nowhere. But sometimes it starts flourishing into like a little flower bulb. I'm like, oh, let's hit that subject because that's interesting. What's going on there, or something else, And it's more about tuning in, I think, to what's going on in front of you. But it took like literally hundreds of episodes to get to that point. And this is your first official podcast, so I'm so honored that this is the first one. So yeah, man, this has been going great too so far. So and fair, we still lose. Sometimes we just branch off, and then we don't know why we got there. And I usually blame it on somebody on that side of the camera, just to make myself feel better.
All right.
Yeah. But I think coming back to the aspect of the awareness is so crucial, because I feel there's so many distractions. And if anybody gets the opportunity, they should YouTube some of your roles and fights, because I never got that whenever I watch you or when I've rolled with you. You seem like you are so zoned into that moment, and it's just incredible to watch you roll like that, because you're so comfortable, man. Like as soon as like we're watching you, it's like, oh man, that guy's just comfortable being in the thick of it. Even when it seems like somebody's about to get you in a position that's, Edmund's in trouble. And you're not you don't even seem bothered. You seem so comfortable. And I'm just curious, does that just take years of practice? Or is there some like crucial thing that happens where you're like, oh, that's the secret right there?
I think I've always had the ability to remain calm in situations. This is the part of podcasting that I was kind of thinking about, because how much do I share? Because I don't have an issue sharing about my life. It's just, I need to consider people that I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
But
don't share anything you don't want to share. So if you feel at all any hesitation,
but at the same time, I feel like it helps to add to the plot, right? If I'm kind of sharing my story. So So give me a second to think.
Yeah.
So just kind of going back to, kind of remaining calm. I think just kind of growing up at home, there was a lot of emotions at home, and so, as a kid, and your parents argue a lot, and there's just a lot going on at home. You can either panic or you're just kind of like a wallflower type of, person.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of gravitated towards being more of like a wallflower. You just kind of, in a sense, take yourself out of the situation, if that makes sense. Like you're just like watching it happen, because there's nothing you can do to change what the adults in the room are doing, right? You're just kind of, it's like, oh, here we go. And then you just kind of, just let things kind of play out. And in jiu-jitsu, I feel it's the same thing. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm getting choked out. And and
yeah, that's what it's like.
And for some reason, I feel less likely to freak out than others. And luckily, I feel it's kind of worked towards my favor when it comes to just learning, in the training room, because I have no issue with someone, getting a move on me, and because I'm just kind of observing my opponent as they're working their techniques on me, and just trying to see what I can figure out, because if you panic, like nothing good ever happens when you panic, and so
no, there's an amazing video I just saw recently, and by the way, personally I can relate a lot to that growing up as well. And there's a video I saw that somebody was explaining ADHD, and I don't know if you have that or whatever.
My third grade teacher told my mom to get me diagnosed, and turns out I don't, but okay. I feel like maybe I got not diagnosed. Yeah. I don't know what the
tabs thing about the internet thing. I was like, oh, that might be part of it, because that apparently this doctor was talking about how it's developed into a coping mechanism for a lot of people, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, especially because when traumatic experiences happen when you're younger,
you just kind of retreat into your own head,
right? Because there's nothing you can do about it, so you go into survival mode, and so you just have to be like the observer, basically the third person observer of what's going on, because you can't deal with it anymore. And so that's why the ADHD actions are basically a coping mechanism. And funny enough, as I've gotten older, martial arts discipline yoga has helped me tremendously into kind of zeroing in and focusing back on what am I in control of, my own body, my own mind. And it takes a lot of work, and sometimes I falter, especially when really big obstacles come in my way currently. But I think it's always good to look at things as an opportunity to practice better habits, especially when really bad things happen to you. I don't know if you guys know this. I got in a car accident. Zeke doesn't know. I got in a car accident.
How recently?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And,
pretty recent.
I like my car, and the accident was not my fault. It was irresponsible from the other driver. Anyway, I took it as I was upset with myself, Edmund. I was upset with myself at my initial reaction, because I was like, that's somebody who I don't want to be.
Yeah. I've had that experience yesterday.
Oh, really? You had an accident?
No, just like, this is not who I want to be. Yeah. So that's exactly what I said to myself yesterday. I got frustrated at something, and but go ahead.
No, absolutely. Like that feeling of knowing, hey, you should react better. This will get fixed. You have insurance. They have insurance. you should look at the positive. Nobody was harmed, killed. Your car isn't totaled.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was, it's just money. Like, you should be at that higher vibration level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you going to do when a real problem happens? If this upsets you this much? And I'm like, and that's my other side talking to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm more frustrated, like, trying to justify myself going, but I'm going to be annoyed because of all the hassle I have to go through and the several weeks of me not having a car.
So you have a round table of Wesams just yelling at each other.
Dude,
right?
The perfect example of what it's like in my head. Absolutely. It's just a round table of different versions of
everyone
me.
shouting, and you're just like, who's,
somebody's nude, and we're like, put on clothes, Wesam. And, that was a joke. Okay. So, yeah, it's very upsetting because what you're capable of, right? And then you choose to react emotionally without thinking. Yeah, and it's just bothersome. I like, man, how do I explain this for people who don't do martial arts? It physically sucks in the beginning, right? Like, very rare do people just jump into, let's say, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and go, oh, this is great. My body feels awesome. Yeah. Even if it's like a good school, you're going to leave sore, maybe a little, bumps and bruises. How do you overcome those beginning stages? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people quit, and there's like a joke within the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community where people are quitting at blue belt, right?
I think about this a lot, as someone who is interested in teaching more, and as someone who would like to see Jiu-Jitsu as a industry, to thrive, and and most people who might even be interested in Jiu-Jitsu, there's a lot of barriers that they have to overcome, a lot of insecurities, right?
Yeah.
And so once you even get to the point where you get to the gym, then you're kind of thrust into these situations where these strangers are just, wrenching your spine and choking you unconscious, and right, and it's
sorry, I just looked at randomly for no reason at somebody in the room. Yep.
Yeah, and so I think one thing that helps is finding a gym that makes it a little easier to kind of transition. I think especially when I started, most jiu-jitsu instructors, they got into jiu-jitsu for a reason. They're not like businessmen. They're not business savvy. They kind of come from, you have to kind of be a certain type of person to forego a 9-to-5, and
yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, to learn something that is, some people see it as kind of barbaric, and you're going to have like a certain mindset coming from that type of generation, and they kind of for newcomers, they just kind of give them a trial by fire type of experience. But
yeah,
I feel more and more gyms are starting to address this. They have like very beginner curriculums. I don't know what your experience was like.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
First of all, for people who think it's barbaric,
yeah.
What's barbaric is being held up at knife point or gun point in the street, or somebody wants to fight you with their hands.
Yeah.
That's barbaric.
Yeah.
And you not knowing how to defend yourself, that's an issue, because unfortunately that's the world we live in, especially in a big city like Los Angeles, where there are crazies everywhere, okay? And there are bad people out here. Bad people. So whatever you can do to mitigate as much to stop yourself from becoming a victim or stop one of your loved ones from becoming a victim, I think is a crucial part to being a human being. I think we've lost that sense of community, because it's not just about yourself when you practice martial arts. It's about the people you love and the people around you. Because if you're doing martial arts just for yourself, that's a short road. I think it's short-sighted, because eventually I feel like you're doing it you're doing it for your community. You know what I mean? The best martial artists, in my opinion, have been part of a community always. They haven't been like this solo person who's like training in the mountains by themselves. They're part of a community that helps raise up other martial artists, other people. And so that's where I'm coming from with that. But in terms of my experience, you said with at Little Tokyo Fight Club, it's been great except for one person, James Choi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a bully there.
He said you were gonna talk shit about him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'll talk shit about him all day long. You want to know what happened last time I rolled with him? By the way, Edmund, I don't know if you can tell, I'm getting a little better.
Okay. Yes. You are.
Okay. I wish it was more like emphatic, like, yeah, you've been getting so much better.
No, it's expected.
Okay. I'm joking with you.
I hope so. Yeah.
Anyway, I've been getting a little better, and last time I rolled with James, I went no holds bar because he's pretty good. He's a purple belt, and I'm still a white belt. So there was a few times I'm getting him like in side control pretty tight.
Yeah.
And I've got I've got my shoulder in his face, right? And then he's like, oh, hold up. I need to put my ear things. And I'm like, or he's like, I gotta move my ears.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like,
yeah.
He was cheating, Edmund. He was cheating because I was winning, and he didn't want to tap. You see the issue there?
Yeah.
Should he be demoted, do you think?
Well, I didn't promote him. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. We'll do a little what's it called? A vote post. Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to do.
Maybe tell his instructor.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Let him decide.
And you want to know you know what, here's the this is so classic James. I rolled 5 rounds, and one of them being with you, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then James is like, hey, I've got my headgear on. You want to roll? And I'm like, dude, I'm exhausted. And I'm like, you know what? All right. And so I started videotaping, and then he went so hard on me. He was making me tap.
Was he aware that he was on
Oh, yeah.
camera?
He was,
Okay.
and he started talking shit to the camera, and that bothered me even more.
It's funny what the camera does to you. Huh?
I know, right? Yeah, so upset with James. That's okay. I'll get him one of these days, dude. The day I make James tap the first time, celebration.
But after the baby's born, he'll be really tired and sleep deprived. So
Yes.
that's a good time to.
He also had food poisoning the day before we rolled, so that's probably something I have to look into more. Giving him a little bit of food poisoning.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm like a trickster, I've decided. No, speaking of like trickster, that's something I've been incorporating more into my practice is having fun. Because that's what I used to love doing I used to do Taekwondo and do Taekwondo sparring a lot. And so I was like, I used to have fun, like make it a game, you know, because it was more based on points and stuff like that. And so that's what I've been trying to incorporate more. And you've mentioned that a couple times back in class. I'm like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be fun too. We're not supposed to just be like, you know, all focused in.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people that I'm around, it gets very easy for them to not enjoy themselves, especially guys who are trying to make a living doing jiu-jitsu. You know, a lot of them kind of see competition as their only way towards, I guess, success. And then it gets very easy to measure yourself against everybody else. And I started kind of getting a little weary of that, just because I'm noticing like, oh, maybe I'm not enjoying jiu-jitsu because everyone in this like mat space is killing my vibe right now, because you go in and it's just like a tense, when you're training with a whole bunch who, their only mission is to win these competitions, your flight or fight, response is going to be, really heightened. And, and after a while it starts to get kind of, tiresome, and so that's why lately I just been kind of focusing more on just again having a good time, trying to talk a little bit more to people. One of the things that I liked about jiu-jitsu is that it was a way for me to be social. But you don't have to talk, right? Like if I just had met you at open mat, we just lock eyes and like, you want to roll, and then that just be it, and that being perfectly okay. And now I feel like I'm kind of on the other end of the spectrum where I'm trying to push myself to, to just talk more, I guess.
Yeah. And your last class I enjoyed a lot because it involved movement, like bodily movement in terms of rolling on your back, isolating your shoulder movement, your upper spine while your legs are in the air. And it's where I brought in my yoga training. I was like, oh, I could do some of this stuff.
So you do yoga, right? I've seen that on your Instagram. Yeah. You teach yoga?
Yeah. I've been doing it for...
Yeah, you're picking up the moves, I was impressed.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I'm enjoying those because there was opportunity to... What I like about specifically Little Tokyo Fight Club, I haven't tried other...
You've never trained anywhere else?
No. I've taken... I audited one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class and I was like, oh, this is not the school for me.
Okay.
The teacher was well informed with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he was like, prepare to get injured. That was his first thing. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not wanting to get injured because I'm an actor. And so I make my living that way. So I can't get injured all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was an okay experience. But what I was saying, the class style at Little Tokyo Fight Club offers a little bit of not a lot of chatting to happen while you're on the mat, but enough to where you're feeling a little bit more comfortable instead of just being in total silence. Because I've done Taekwondo classes in my previous school where everybody's just quiet the whole time.
Did you have like a Korean instructor? Or?
Oh yeah, he was hardcore. He was Grandmaster Kong. What's that?
It's Tiger Mom.
Tiger Bomb. Yeah, there's
Tiger Mom.
Tiger Mom. Yeah. It was very old school style. So no chatting on the mat at all.
Yeah. So that's just already killing my vibe right now.
Okay.
Like I feel like jiu-jitsu doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what I try to bring to, and I think that's what kind of drew me to Little Tokyo Fight Club because everyone is just kind of there to have a good time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of animosity going on. Sometimes I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, and most open mats I go to are pretty chill. In general, but just Little Tokyo Fight Club in particular. I might also be biased too because just everyone there's Asian. But still, it's just
not everybody.
No, but like a fair amount.
I don't see race.
Yeah.
I can't get canceled for that, right?
Yeah.
I hope not. We'll see. We'll keep it in. It's fine. But no, that's understandable. But I have to give a lot of credit to James because he's really cultivated that community.
And he's a very community oriented person.
Yes.
And so again, I think that's just kind of what drew me to this kind of group.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Dude, we're just talking.
Okay.
We're just talking. We're on the we're
I
in
thought I was
flow
making
roll.
a point and then I lost,
Dude, we're in a
steam.
flow roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Who knows how we got here? That's Brazilian talk. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu talk. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so caffeinated right now.
Do you ever get deja vu moments?
Dude, all the time.
I'm having one right now, and that's another thing that's it makes me wonder, am I have to live this life again? How many times have I lived this life? Anyways.
You believe in reincarnation or afterlife or any of that stuff? Maybe. I don't know. If you don't want to talk
I think
about that,
that's beyond my, I don't want to be the arbiter of what is and what isn't in that realm.
Yeah.
I figured, if it's real, we'll find out soon enough. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. Yeah. So we're going to get to them here in a little bit, but I'm really excited to show you some of the videos today because either you're going to find them really funny or not so funny, and then we'll just roll with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be really interesting. Actually, do you mind if we show my videos first? This one's not funny. This is actually something I found on TikTok. Are you a Bruce Lee fan at all?
A huge Bruce Lee fan. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you would. When I saw this, I was like, oh, I feel like this would resonate with Edmund.
Okay.
So I hope it does because it resonates with me, and not just from a martial arts side, but also from an acting perspective as well. Because you talked about this in your last, I think 2 classes ago, a groundedness.
Mm-hmm.
We have basically actors and musicians behind here as well. And as an actor, when you're not grounded, a director, a producer, a casting director, other actors can immediately tell. When you're not when you don't feel connected to the ground, in the character's shoes, everything
what am I
else
doing here? And
everything you build on that is wobbly, unsure, uncertain. And so anyway, I thought you would appreciate this.
What are your thoughts when facing an opponent?
There is no opponent,
And why is that?
because the word I does not exist.
So, continue.
A good fight should be like a small play, but played seriously. A good martial artist does not become tense, but ready. Not thinking, yet not dreaming. Ready for whatever may come. When the opponent expands, I contract. When it contracts, I expand. And when there is an opportunity, I do not hit. It hits all by itself.
You're like, no, I don't like that at all.
Oh, no. I have a tendency to crack myself up, and I was just thinking about
No, please, please, no, you have to now, because I like it when you crack yourself up in class. So you have to crack yourself up now.
I'm just wondering. I wonder if that's what guys who hit women say. Just, not that it's right. No, it's just, it just happened. I just, I can just picture some asshole saying that as well. So maybe Dana White, didn't he slap his wife?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's such a curveball.
Yeah.
That is not what I was expecting you to say in any way, shape, or form.
That's why it's hard to concentrate when.
Dude,
That's just.
I'm not laughing at
Yeah.
domestic violence,
Yeah.
obviously. I'm laughing
Yeah.
at the curveball of this. Oh, Edmund, thank you so much for that, man.
But a lot of what Bruce Lee talks about is it resonates a lot with me because he draws heavily from Taoism. So for anyone not familiar, it's I think I would describe it as kind of a more of a philosophy than a religion, and I think that's why whatever Bruce Lee talks about again just resonates with me, because it's not really his own unique perspective. It draws it draws very heavily from the concepts he borrowed from Taoism, and I think that's another reason why working my way through Jiu Jitsu helps to change how I go about life as well, because these principles of Taoism, they just this was a lot smoother in my head.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, keep going. No, yeah.
But pretty much, it's just an idea that I've been thinking about a lot is just wondering how much of our lives that we're really in control of. There's always something. There's always like a cause and effect type of thing going on, and again, just like with jiu-jitsu, you're trying to figure out what exactly it is that you are and not in what you're in control of and what you're not. And I think that's pretty much what he's describing, in a nutshell. And also just removing, he talks about there is no I when you and I are engaging in, in some type of sparring situation. I think I want to be careful because I don't want any expert in Taoism to say like, oh, he's he's totally butchering it, but
no, this is an open conversation.
Okay.
You're not butchering it. Yeah.
But when it comes to I think a lot of nights I spend thinking about like existential thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think one perspective that I consider a lot is how the self, like how who you are is an accumulation of all the experiences that you encounter as you move along life. And so in a way, when I think of myself, I don't think of myself as just this one being. It's just I don't want to sound like crazy, but
No, you're not sounding crazy.
But I mean, I guess another way to look at it, to phrase it, is just we're all kind of part of like the universe in a sense,
right.
And so we're just kind of it sounds so cheesy, and but we're all just kind of like this one thing.
Yeah.
And and when you're rolling, it's not just you; it's you and your opponent together. And there's like a certain flow that takes place when you got and so instead of trying to force things to happen, you're just kind of trying to tune in and just let things unfold. But I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't just happen. You have to train and study a little bit.
Yeah, no, I want to.
Yeah.
I think you hit it on the head with, it's not just you,
Mm-hmm.
it's both of you who are rolling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just me in this room, it's the universe,
Mm-hmm.
it's the world.
Yeah.
And when you shift your perspective
Mm-hmm.
to that, your understanding of the situation
Mm-hmm.
becomes so much deeper, and your emotional attachment to the moment
Mm-hmm.
is detached in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And you're more in control of what is and what isn't.
Right, because you're kind of letting go of like
Your identity.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. We grow up with this identity of ourselves, but we know that will pass when we die. So who are we, really?
Yeah.
That becomes the question. By the way, these existential thoughts, I share them as well. I wanted to, before I forget, the cause and effect that you mentioned with this video, kind of paralleling it to acting, to just share with you why I love this video so much, because there's universal wisdom in it that can be applied to everything. When I'm in a scene with my acting partner, I can't be daydreaming, like he said, completely, because I have lines that I have to say that continue the story. But at the same time, I am not just focused on saying these words in these exact order, in this exact way. Because if I'm not tuned in to not just my scene partner, but the vibe, the circumstances.
The camera picks it up. The mic picks it up.
Right.
And people can tell.
Exactly. So what if like we've been rehearsing it a certain way, and I come into the scene, or my partner comes into the scene every single time like this. Hey, Wesam, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, Wesam, how's it going? And then the fourth time they're like, hey, Wesam, how's it going? If I react the same exact way and not be in tune, there's going to be something false that happens there. And it's the same thing I feel like applied when you're rolling or sparring. If you're not in flow, if you're not in tune with what the other person is doing, you're going to get caught in something, and there's going to be dissonance there. So, dude, we're so smart and philosophical.
Thank God for us.
That's the quote of the episode. Thank God for us.
Thank God for us.
Thank God for us. All of us.
All
there
of
you
us.
go. There's
But
some.
me in particular. Just
Ooh.
kidding.
Can't imagine
I'm
it got
just
that dark. So I wanted to show you 3 videos, and the first one is one of my favorite all-time videos, and I found the extended version on the internet, and so I hope you enjoy.
Sure.
Yeah, Zeke.
The
Когда
I've seen
женщина
this.
спасена, он
Yeah.
принимается за ее
Now, what
спасателей.
movement does he have on the bear right there?
I think he looks like just a front headlock.
Yeah. It's not deep enough though, right?
I mean, no.
The woman's okay, by the way.
Yeah.
If everybody's wondering. He attacked the woman, yeah. The bear did, not the man. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So what was your question?
No, if
Sorry.
I just find that very interesting. People who would take pictures next to bears. I was making a joke like,
Yeah.
did he have it deep enough? The arm thing. That was just the
Well, I mean, as long as she was okay.
yeah.
And so, I mean,
It was a joke. Yeah.
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 sorry.
No, I love it. My humor is
Yeah.
just not hitting. That's fine.
um,
Should I show you the next video?
yeah, sorry,
Okay.
I'm just blushing.
No, it's okay. The next video is what I feel it's like.
I'm a little slow too, so.
Not on the mat.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is what it feels like to roll with Edmund in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if you guys are wondering what's it like, I couldn't put it into words, but I found the perfect video for it.
I'm a little nicer than that. Oh,
He's okay.
He's gonna go. Jabba!
He's okay. He survived. He's all right.
oh man. Yeah, I'm sweating a little bit now. Yeah, I don't know why people put themselves in these situations. I mean,
Pretty crazy, right?
yeah, pretty nuts.
I don't know what the story is, but he was all right. He survived. Everything was fine. Wasn't that injured. He's good. Yeah. You guys doing okay on the other end?
Yeah, you point at the man being dragged by the lion and go, pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way it moved a grown man like it was a stuffed animal was crazy. I mean, like it just pulled him. Like
Pretty
it was
crazy,
like-
right?
When Edmund rolls, that's what it's like. Seriously, man. I know it's hard to accept
Yeah.
compliments because I have that problem too. But I just you're really that good, and it was an absolute blast to roll with you. And I hope tomorrow you're up for another roll.
Sure.
So because
Yeah.
I'm like 0.1% better. So watch out.
Got to get ready for James.
Dude, James tomorrow better watch out. I'm taking my cordyceps mushroom supplement. I'm taking 2 energy drinks, and I'm saying wear your headgear before we start in front of everybody, like calling him out.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to get Cindy, his wife, to give him some undercooked chicken. So hopefully the food poisoning comes in.
Okay.
That's my game plan, and I think that's the art of war right there in a nutshell.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We'll see. Sounds pretty solid,
Cool. All right.
especially with the undercooked chicken.
Yeah. I think that's
Record it.
going to be the kicker.
Record it.
Yeah.
So that I can put it in right now, whether you win or lose.
Record it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Record
Okay.
it.
I'll record it tomorrow then
Yeah.
on the mats. Okay.
We'll have
Speaking
Randy
of, go ahead.
We'll have Randy do it.
Randy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Randy record. That sounds good. Oh, dude, James. Did you see that? How quick that was?
Yeah. Pretty loose.
Dude, I'm so loose.
Yeah.
Look at this
I
shoulder
didn't
mobility.
armbar James. It just happened.
Right.
Yeah.
It just, dude, it's so smart. Hey, I'm trying to get these guys to join
Sure.
on Sunday too. So
Yeah,
you got to
you guys-
convince them as well.
Come by. You guys are more than welcome. And I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth video is very tame. Nobody was hurt with animals or anything
Yeah.
like that. But it just made me laugh because, again, mirroring jujitsu,
Yeah.
whenever you're in a stressful situation and you can't get out of it, like somebody's on top of you, right, in full guard or whatever, or full mount, excuse me, Brazilian jiu-jitsu teaches you how to be, just to be more comfortable in being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And I wish this man would have taken Brazilian jiu-jitsu because I feel like he would have had a much better guys.
What? What, Wesam?
Anyway, let's play the video, Zeke.
Oh, I saw this.
I put this video in my.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Keep coming down, man. You got it.
He doesn't get injured, right?
No, he's good, man.
There you go. You can't be scared. Just roll with it.
By the way, that box,
That's what I'm talking about.
30 pounds.
Okay.
Hell
It's not
yeah.
heavy.
He's doing good.
Is he faking?
He's not faking.
I think I would have left him hanging a little longer.
Come down.
I'm sorry. He's getting warm.
Wait, I'm in the way. All right, come down.
I'm begging you. Somebody come.
Come down. You gotta come down.
I can't. The machine's not moving.
Man, I don't know how to work the machine.
You need to go down.
Please, somebody. Please, somebody.
I'm going down. Hold it easy, okay?
Hold on, Kelly. Let's see if you can find it. That's not the switch.
Order's not there.
Can't breathe.
Go grab the light.
Oh, man.
Are we still friends? I feel like. What are your thoughts?
Wow. I mean, I would have left him hanging. For sure. Knowing that it was only 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I
but-
think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is important.
Yeah. But I actually, I mean, I don't know. He could have been really traumatized too.
True.
So I think it's I don't know him well enough, but
Yeah.
but I think there's definitely a side of me that would have left
Yeah.
him hanging.
You know what I think got him is being that high up. Because it doesn't look that high, but
Yeah.
if that's your first time on one of those machines, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, snap, okay.
So he lied on his resume
Probably.
about being afraid of heights.
Also, Lowe's, get some better training. I think they should have trained people a little bit better if they're going to be on those machines.
Yeah.
So I blame corporate America, if anyone.
Right.
There you go.
And don't lie on your resume.
There you go. Yeah. Boom. Zeke, shall we watch your videos?
Yeah, it's funny because I put that one at the end of my compilation. I'm glad you found it.
I'm glad we're finally on the same vibration, it seems like, with videos.
Yeah.
It's great. How are you enjoying the videos so far?
I'm enjoying them.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I watch a lot of I consume a lot of content, so
Yeah.
It's funny that you put a bear fighting in yours too, because
Okay.
we were really on the same page here.
Oh my gosh.
Go, Brian.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, bad friend.
Oh, guys.
Bad friend.
Oh no.
Not friends no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that was just by random chance that you picked the lion video. Wow, we were on the same page this week. This is great.
You know, the number of people hanging out with dangerous animals is a little too high.
Right?
Yeah.
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 I get worried if people have a big dog.
Yeah.
A lion?
A
Get
lion.
out of here. Real quick before we continue, hey guys, our 1 hour slot on Adobe Radio is over. The show continues on. The full episode will be available tomorrow on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in live on Adobe Radio, and the show continues on.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of like people having tigers as pets, bears.
I mean, it sounds cool, but until the grizzly death part. So, you do you, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, before we watch the guy hitting a golf ball out of another guy's butt, what did you think of the Volkanovski and Islam fight?
You know, lately I've been not as interested in watching the UFC
Okay.
as I once, with the same passion that I did, starting jiu-jitsu. It's just there's so many fighters out there. Everyone is loud. Everyone is good. And so
Loud as in, what do you mean?
Just in front of a mic. There's a lot of, I think, you're trying to sell the fight. And so I feel like everything every fighter says is just, oh, wow, he said that. Like, he insulted the other guy. Wow, shocking. And so I just feel like lately the UFC hasn't been producing anything to me that has been kind of catching my attention.
Yeah.
But this fight with Volkanovski and Islam was definitely one of the best fights I've ever seen in a long time, just because for so many different reasons. I just I feel bad talking about his height, but he's a shorter guy.
Yeah.
And so he's got that working against him. He's coming up from a lower weight class, and he's going up against the guy who everyone's starting to believe is just a tank. And to do what he did and how he did it was it was awesome to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technique that I seen where you can tell Craig Jones was working with him, just the way he was still comfortable defending the back.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, again, comfortability,
Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't seem worried to be in a terrible position.
Yeah. He doesn't. I think it just gets easy to panic, because I feel fighting guys like Khabib and Islam is like, just, you're in a sauna, and it's okay for the first 10 minutes, but after a while you just you start to panic, and you're just trying to get out the door. And but Volkanovski was just in it. And that was just really respectable, and it was really cool to see how energetic the crowd was. Just Australia's just turning up, and so I enjoyed that as well. I wish I could have been there in person to feel the energy of the room, as like Volkanovski's smiling, and because I thought once he got his back taken, I thought, okay, it was good while it lasted, and it's like, oh wait, he's still,
Yeah.
And so that was really, really exciting.
I was really impressed as well, and how much weight he was moving up in weight as well.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, like 10 pounds, 20 pounds makes a big difference whenever you're rolling someone, especially when you're rolling with someone. There's a blue belt in our Jiu Jitsu class. He's really nice. His name is Warren. He at least has 40 pounds on me, and I'm like, I just started laughing at one point, going, "You're so heavy, man. Like, what can I do?" So it's pretty incredible that he was able to maneuver him the way he did. And in the 5th round, I was like, if this just kept going, I think he would have won. I'm a firm believer in not having any rounds or breaks, just unlimited time. See who wins.
I agree. The 5-minute time limit per round just works really against the especially like the jiu-jitsu guys, because it takes a while to get to the fight, to not just to get it to the ground, but to advance. And so by the time you're about to armbar him, time's up. And so I think I would like to see longer rounds, kind of like how Pride did it. They had a 10-minute round, and then every round afterwards was 5, I believe.
Wow, okay. I recently watched the old Gracie and Shamrock fight. It was like from USC 1 or 2. Yeah. And they went on for 30 minutes straight, 35 minutes. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I don't want to see anybody take breaks. And I want to see the ring a little bigger, to be honest with you. Because I feel like having the wall plays to the advantage a lot.
Of who?
I don't know. It could be both ways. I feel like not having a wall, just in like a football field almost size place. I don't know. I like that better for some reason.
Okay.
Like so, no obstacles.
Like a football field sized mat.
Yeah, let's go like what? Like let's say 50 yards by 50 yards.
Okay.
That's fair. That's big enough.
I feel like the issue would be because those are seats you can be selling as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I think, there's that issue as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, I mean, why not change things up? You know, fight in a phone booth, fight on a football field.
Like the Russians?
Yeah, like the Russians.
In the car?
Yeah.
Car jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen car jiu-jitsu? Oh, go home
Car jujitsu.
and just watch a few videos of car jiu-jitsu because that's a whole different martial art.
Yeah, if you've
and it's all-
Ubered, right? Like you'd want to know how things go down
Yeah, exactly.
in the backseat. And
Or you're in the Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington and you are the Uber driver and you have to like fight somebody in the car. You guys know.
wasn't Collateral Damage? Didn't that movie
Mm. Collateral Damage or I forgot.
with Tom Cruise?
Yes, I know, with Jamie Foxx, right?
Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx was his driver.
Yes, yes.
Deadpool, he's got a taxi guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
How about this real quick before we finish these
Sure.
videos? You guys have to like they have to do some kind of randomized thing where it could be like a flat surface like the regular ring or like sand. Cuz that could be a big factor too.
yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing is just
I'm too caffeinated up right now, by the way. That's probably why.
I think as long as the athletic commissions approve it, no, like I don't
Yeah.
know, we should start our own.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Little Tokyo Fight
Wesam
Club.
Promotions. Have
my
people
gosh.
fight on sand and on football fields and
In mud.
In mud. Yeah, mud. Where else?
How many
Alligator.
times have you watched a cage fight? How about a
Yeah.
beach fight?
Yeah,
You know?
in
Yeah.
swamp water.
Swamp water.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that'll change you up. You got to be, flexible as a fighter, dude. Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll make millions.
Thank God for us.
dude. Thank God for us. All right.
All right, well, you know what's going to happen here, obviously. But
Well, yeah.
Oh. Oh no.
He's got good glutes though. That'll help with.
It's padding.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's just
That's just
muscle that'll heal.
That's gonna leave a mark for sure, though.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone that you would trust to do this to you?
I wouldn't do that.
No.
No. There'd be no situation where you put me in where I'm like,
Not
yeah,
even
put
a trained professional.
no.
What about to promote the podcast?
It'd have to be Tiger Woods.
It'd have to be Tiger Woods.
And even
Yeah.
then, I'd feel like one of those people who are doing something like, I'd literally do the video like this. Hey, I really didn't want to do this, but I'm just trying to get you guys to watch the video. This is Tiger Woods. He's hitting a golf ball teed out of my butt. Enjoy. Like, that'd be the video.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd let Tiger Woods hit a golf ball.
Yeah? That's the new quote of the... That should just be a T-shirt for you with your face on it going like this.
He's into a lot of weird things, right? So
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. I don't know. I can't speak on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's keep it going.
This is the last one.
All right.
Oh, and I
More
know.
animals?
Is this the bowl run?
Oh! Oh, those poor bulls.
Oh wow! See the sparks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
There is no benefit in doing the running of the bulls at all. What, you don't die? That's the plus side to it.
Yeah.
Adrenaline junkies.
Right?
Get
Yeah.
a sick medal.
You don't get a medal.
You get a medal saying I survived the bull run.
You don't.
2023.
My palms are getting sweaty watching these.
Yeah? That's awesome.
Yeah. I just,
That makes me happy.
yeah, just imagining just a wild animal on the loose.
Yeah.
And where are you gonna go? I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be part
Yeah.
of your all's jujitsu
Yeah.
thing. You just put
Yeah.
a bowl in there
Yeah.
that
I
you
think
have to avoid as well.
one thing you learn in jiu-jitsu too is you pick your battles. So just don't pick a battle with with a full-size bull. So
Yeah.
bit of advice.
Yeah.
Pro
Or
tip.
or a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you this is something else just
Sure.
before we wrap it all up. This is what I like about Little Tokyo Fight Club. They actually encourage you if there's a role that you are uncomfortable taking or you can say that's okay, I'm going to sit this one out, or to verbalize to your partner, hey, I'm have an injury, can we just
Yeah.
go like 25%, 50%? And I think that's really important to make sure the longevity of keeping people practicing the martial art as well, because ego gets put into your ego sometimes gets the hold of you. And whenever we've had you or the other people there encourage us to be like, hey, it's okay to say no. I think that's really great so that you keep practicing.
Yeah, I mean, I think another to get better at anything, you have to. I think in another podcast you're talking about Jocko, right, and extreme ownership, and if there's one thing I kind of take away from, not that I read the book, but I kind of get the idea of, if you're going to improve your jiu-jitsu, at a certain point, yeah, sure, there's a lot of things that affect your progress, but ultimately you have to be real with yourself. And so, I don't think there's any issue in saying no. I think it's important to be able to say no to rules, but also asking yourself, am I saying no because I don't want to get hurt, or am I saying no because, I'm going to be hurt emotionally, right?
Yeah. I think that's goes back to awareness. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've had guys where, they're saying no to me because, you're too big, you're going to hurt me. Like,
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's definitely a pressure to, because it feels rude to like turn someone down. I feel like it's taken me a while to be able to say no to some people. And not even because I'm going to get hurt. Sometimes this person's kind of weird and I don't want them touching me.
That is the most honest answer ever. Oh, this is something that I remember from when we rolled.
Yeah.
You just put your elbow in between my ribs, and there was a sound that you made me verbalize that just came. I literally just went.
I think I remember.
Yeah, and I was like, like it was the most bitch sound I've ever made in my life. And you were so kind. You're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I just didn't have any control in making that sound. But dude, I had a great time.
I make a lot of these kind of noises.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
I catch it every time I do it, so it's okay. It happens.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Seriously, I hope you had a good time.
I hope I was an okay guest. So
you were more than okay guest. You were great, man. I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom, your experience, and you're welcome back anytime.
Okay.
And there's a lot more I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, I think you wanted to like talk about some other. Don't feel. I'm very open about stuff. It's just, again, I think one thing I have to consider is just, if I'm talking about people in my life, like I just want to make sure to respect. And so, is that something you just get used to as you get more experience podcasting?
There's stuff I don't share with my personal life, personal stuff, family stuff, dating stuff. There are things like, for instance, like if I'm upset with my intern, and like he did something wrong, like maybe, it was a really stupid thing for him to do. And like, I'm like, why the fuck did you do that? I'm not going to call him out on air. But I think it's just choosing what you want to talk about, and it's okay. Like,
because I remember you wanted to ask me about my mom and stuff like that, and
not specifically.
Okay.
If you were only comfortable with it, because it was a video I saw you had posted on your Instagram, and I was just like, oh wow, that's really, really kind of him to share that kind of personal thing. But if you don't feel in this moment comfortable, people can just check out the Instagram video. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. She's already passed away, so I don't, I think it's more for people who are still around.
Okay.
Don't want to get anybody in trouble or nothing like that. But
don't feel obligated.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, don't feel obligated to share that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because listen, you're a guest, man.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure you're happy and you feel comfortable with everything you've talked about. And nobody's going to be listening to this saying, that's what I wanted to hear, or he should have shared more about this,
Yeah.
That's a crazy person talking.
Yeah.
There's other aspects of martial arts and philosophy that I'd like to talk about with you next time, if that's cool.
Sure.
And we'll figure out whenever that may be. And I had a good time, man. Yeah. Cool. This was great.
Yeah. I definitely, because I'll save it for.
Save it for next time.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a good time.
All right.
Yeah, we watched silly videos. We talked about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We promoted Little Tokyo Fight Club. We talked shit about James. I think that was the most important thing we wanted to hit on. So I'm glad we did.
Yeah. I'm really bad at ending conversations.
Okay.
And so I was wondering, are you a good conversation ender? How do you end conversations? Oh, you just walk out? One issue that I have is that because like I always feel bad cutting conversations short.
Why? Can I ask why?
I think just growing up not wanting to upset anybody, and so yeah, and so I always get terrified of like ending conversations, but that ends up like biting me, because now I'm late to the next thing, and so.
Are you late to another thing?
No.
Oh, okay. You're so interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is making me want to like. What time is it, by the way? Because we have we got a little bit of time. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's always a little awkward for me too, depending on who it is. Even like people I know, I'm always like, "All right, later, guys, bye." And I think it's also a cultural thing from me because people in my culture do this goodbye, which drives me crazy. They'll see you out and walk you out, which is totally fine. I that doesn't bother me. But then they'll do the 20 goodbyes. Okay, see you later. Yeah. Okay, bye. Okay, drive safe. Okay, take care. Okay, say hi to everybody. Okay, bye. Bye. Thank you for coming. Bye. Take care. Bye. Like, do you see how insane that feels like?
And then maybe you get distracted and you didn't leave right away, so you see the person you just said bye to.
Yes.
And then I panic. It's like, I just said bye to her. Do I say bye again? And
yeah. You know what I'd like to do? I like to call that moment out always.
Okay.
Because it makes it less awkward when you acknowledge it.
Okay. Like when you forget their names or...
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if I forget somebody's name, I'm almost like, I'm so sorry. I don't remember your name. Can you please remind me? Because if somebody goes, I've already told you, you know what I mean? And be like, and then I just go, sorry.
Yeah.
That's not on me.
Yeah.
Okay? Be more memorable. You don't say that though, right? You can't say that.
Well, it's just because...
you meet a lot of people.
I meet a lot of people, but I don't know how to say this. But I go to a lot of open mats, and sometimes I'm in a situation where they know me because I've been around these open mats, but then I don't know them.
Okay.
I'm getting uncomfortable talking about it right now. Like,
Why?
Because I feel bad. I forgot their name. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, you should never feel uncomfortable about that because you meet. Hey, it's like okay.
But then it's worse than you go for years sometimes not knowing somebody's name because the longer it goes, the harder it is to ask. Like,
I'm sorry. What? You mean like you've gone years not knowing somebody's name? You've rolled with?
Yeah. I mean, because sometimes they come inconsistently. Some open mats that I go to. They
fine.
show up,
That's fine. This is what you said. This is how you, if I were in your insurance company, hey man, I always see you popping in and out, and I always have trouble remembering your name. But so what is it again? And if they take offense to that, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's on them because you're acknowledging the moment and being like, I'm sorry, dude,
They failed the vibe check.
Yeah. Yeah. That's on them.
Okay.
That's not on you. And even if, like, I barely remember his name. And so I've known him for years and years now, and that's fine, Zachariah or something like that. Yeah. But, for instance, Little Tokyo Fight Club, I see those people once a week, right? Sometimes I have to wait till somebody else says their name.
Sometimes I'll go on Instagram and see if someone's...
That's what I'm talking about. I do the same.
Yeah, and then I panic when like, oh, you don't have an Instagram? What, do you live under a rock? Like,
yeah, weirdos, man. Yeah. Or when they don't have their real name on Instagram and it's something like, I'm like, oh god, come on, dude. Like I have to now filter off. Yeah, no. We'll do a good goodbye though. How do you want to do it? Like we roll a little bit, or no? I'm kidding. How do you want to do the goodbye here? I just want to make you uncomfortable. I'll take control of the goodbye. Okay. Because this won't be the real goodbye because we'll do a fake goodbye for the YouTube. I've never done this before. So we'll do a fake goodbye for the YouTube, and then we'll do our sincere goodbye here. Okay. And if you don't want, we can all stay in here, and you can just walk out the door, or I can walk you out to the door. Because I'd like to walk you out to the door out of sign of respect.
Okay.
Because I like you, man.
I like you too.
And I like that you're sharing your time at Little Tokyo Fight Club, and you're sharing your knowledge, and it's been a blast learning from you, and especially somebody from your high caliber. And I always appreciate people like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Is this the goodbye?
This is the goodbye. Okay. Edwin, if people who are listening or watching want to check out your Instagram and follow you, where can they follow you at?
It's K_YW91. It just stands for Kim and then my Korean name initials and then 91. I was born in 91.
Awesome.
So that's, I don't know. Some people ask like, oh, why is it Edmund? I changed it because someone I was dating at the time. Anyways.
Yeah. We'll go. Okay. Well, next time we'll talk about that. Thank you again for coming on the show. You guys should check out his Instagram and also YouTube, some of his fights on YouTube. They're a blast to watch, especially if you're in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Peyton, play us out. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the show. Really appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, and comment below. Nice comment about what you enjoyed from the show. That helps us with our algorithm and just staying relevant and growing our subscription. We're almost at 2,000 followers on YouTube, or subscribers, which is awesome. And really appreciate you guys. We've been growing, and let's keep it going. And always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye, guys.